Hello everyone, we are back out here in Berea where the Browns have just waived Terrelle Pryor. It was shocking news today. He practiced all afternoon, and then shortly after practice we get the news that they have waived Terrelle Pryor after he just made the 53-man roster. They were talking about using him in the Wildcat and different things. They did so to make room for a running back, Robert Turbin, a 2012 fourth-round pick from the Seattle Seahawks. So big news in Berea today.
Yeah, and of course the other thing about Robert Turbin is he's probably going to be out for a little while. He had a high ankle sprain, so not going to have an immediate impact on the roster, which kind of makes all of it a little bit more curious, doesn't it?
It really does. You know, I mean, they had been talking about using Terrelle in a number of different ways. This was a project. They were going to be patient with it. They had emphasized that they were taking a leap of faith by putting him on the 53-man roster, but they looked at him as sort of a long-term project. And you know, he was out with the hamstring for most of training camp, didn't get an opportunity to show what he could do, but still, I am very surprised about this. And, you know, I've advocated him, you know, all summer long, thinking that they need playmakers like this, and he's somebody that could really help this team.
Yeah, and again, one of the things that obviously hurt the Browns in as far as trying to find out if this guy was more of a longer-term project, they didn't have the ability to put him on the practice squad, where if he was a younger guy, had less games, they could have done that. But yeah, I mean, for as much as we've talked to him and as much as they've talked about him being a project, you would have thought that he would have got a little bit more time.
Yeah, and you know what? I got an opportunity. I caught him on the phone just very briefly right after he got the news, and he said, this will be a mistake by them. And, you know, I got the feeling from Terrelle that he feels like he's going to get picked up by someone else. I think this will fuel him to become the great receiver that he wants to be. And we all saw what Braxton Miller did the other night. Yeah. Not to say that Terrelle will have that same type of immediate success, but he's pretty determined to make this happen.
Yeah, and it's important to note at this point, as of our airing, we've got no explanation for the Browns. We were unable to talk to the coach or anyone else. Obviously, Ray Farmer's not around, which, again, you wonder who actually made this decision. But so we don't have the Browns side of it yet. But to me, it raises more questions than it answers, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? I also just talked to Robert Turbin on the phone a little bit ago, and I will be writing something on that soon on cleveland.com. And I asked him how long he thinks he'll be out. He said doctors told him that he would be out 4 to 6 weeks, but he's doing everything that he possibly can to get back on the field as soon as he can. He's really excited to come here, and I said, hey, you just left a team that went to the Super Bowl 2 straight years. You're excited to come to a team that a lot of people think might not win much this year. He is over the moon to be coming here.
Nice English phrase, Mary Kay. The one thing to note, he suffered the injury in the 3rd preseason game, so we're talking he may be about 2 weeks into his recovery.
Yeah, so, you know, we should see, you know, when he shows up here, he said he's going to try to be here. I believe he'll be practicing tomorrow already. So, you know, Robert Turbin, new Browns running back to go along with Duke Johnson, Isaiah Crowell, Terrelle Pryor gone, a shocking move today. Maybe not inside the building. They're talking about, hey, he was the 53rd guy on the roster, but still, he was probably one of the biggest stories in Browns training camp all summer, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, for obviously being from being Ohio State, B, being one of these guys trying to make the transition. He was a great story. You know, it'll be interesting now to see who claims him.
Well, you know what? What if it's the Pittsburgh Steelers? You don't think that'll happen. It probably really won't. But what if he comes back to haunt them again a couple times a year?
Maybe it's Tennessee next week.
You never know. And we will have it all right here for you on cleveland.com.